this is a blueprint of how to be successful at the rink. And you've done some unbelievable things as your friend. And again, a guy that has learned so much and will continue to learn so much from you. You have done some tremendous, almost indescribable things away from the rink, whether it be for being a dual citizen in the United States and Canada for our heroes, our troops, and to advance gay rights, which must touch your heart, having lost your son, Brendan, tragically. How would you describe the things that you've been able to do, Brian, in both of those capacities that are far bigger than the game of hockey?
Well, for people who are watching this who don't know, my son Brendan passed away. He had come out as gay a year or so before he passed away. He died in a car accident, and our family has started a You Can Play Foundation to commemorate his memory and forward the cause for the LGBTQ community. And I'm very proud of what our family's done and what I've done there. I have to admit, I was not active in the community at all beforehand. And it's been a revelation and an awakening for me. It's helped me more than it's helped the community, frankly. And the other thing is the military. And I am a dual citizen. I was born in Providence, Rhode Island, but grew up in Minnesota. And consider myself a Minnesotan. If you ask me where I'm from, I would say I'm from Minnesota, even though I was born elsewhere. That's where I grew up. That's what I consider home. Became a Canadian citizen in 1992, like the day I was eligible. The first day I was eligible to become a Canadian, I did. And I've spent most of my adult life working in Canada, in large part, Trip, because of the platform it's given me. You know, I was in Anaheim, I won a cup, but no one really knew Brian Burke was in Anaheim. In Vancouver, you're the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. Guess what? People know who you are. You have a platform. So you get up and talk about LGBTQ rights. You get up and talk about giving back to the community. And so I love the passion for the game in all the places I worked in Canada, and I love the fact it gave me a platform, and I was able to make a difference in every city I lived in, and that was my goal. You know, and I used to say to my kids before my son passed away, then I stopped saying it. But I said, "What are they going to say at your funeral? And who's going to come? Right? You can be like Eleanor Rigby, who dies in a church, and 3 people show up because it's a little bit of excitement in a little wee town, or is the church going to be packed? So who's going to come, and what are they going to say?" And they're not going to talk about how much money you made. They're not going to talk about Stanley Cups. They're going to talk about were you a good dad? Were you a good brother? Were you a good sister? Were you a good sibling? Were you good to your mom and dad? Were you a good parent? Were you active in the community? That's what they're going to talk about. And that's what I've tried to teach my kids, is that should be your legacy. I hope at my funeral, which I hope is a long ways away, but I hope they're talking about these other things and not Stanley Cups and not money.